Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day number 2 of our writing lesson. Just like we were earlier in the week, we are back at Big Brother Steve's house, and we are here today to learn about personal sequence narratives. Personal sequence narratives, woo! They're a little bit of an extension of our basic paragraph using that hamburger method, and it's supposed to be a snapshot in time, a memorable experience, and a narration of rich details of what happened during that memory that you have. Today, Big Brother Steve and I are going to give an example of a personal sequence narrative for the time that this morning we made dehydrated Loquat candies. We'll take you through that whole process using the structure of a personal sequence narrative to tell our short story. First, I'm going to take you into our virtual PowerPoint to go over what a personal sequence narrative is and all the ins and outs there. Then I will take you through a video montage of the experience that Big Brother Steve and I had making these really delicious Loquat dehydrated gummies. Okay, see you guys soon. Oh, almost forgot. As always, virtual expectations apply at Big Brother Steve's house. If you need a snack, what do? You just go get one. That is the freedom, that is the beauty of our virtual classroom. This can be done at your leisure. And I have this in my hand because it's a GoPro device of some sort, because today, for the very first time, I learned how to use a GoPro, and that's how we filmed our footage. Okay, guys, see you in the PowerPoint. I'm really excited about this one. Welcome, everyone, to Miss Mel and Ms. Evanny's virtual writing classroom in our PowerPoint. We have a very, very exciting lesson to get to. It's kind of a shorter PowerPoint slide presentation because we get into a lengthier example of what we are hoping that you guys will do by watching my Big Brother Steve and I make our Loquat Gummy Candies and then write about it. Let's get into it. Personal sequence narratives. I like to think of this as, what's your story? This is a time to tell your story, whatever that story might be. What is a personal sequence narrative? It's a first person, using the I voice, so you use I, recollection of a real world memorable experience, like your first bike ride, or a specific event in a larger experience. For example, a beach story. That would be your title, and your subtitle would be, When I Was Caught in a Riptide. It recalls a chain of events that convey to the reader the drama or the details of the experience or the event. And it has an ending that describes the resolution or your overall impression of the experience. It's really targeted at building some specific goals for our writing. It targets developing our ability to use precise words like time, setting, and context. When did this happen? Where did this happen? What else was going on? It also helps us with our fluent sentence formulation and sequencing of our ideas. Later, you'll see it follows a pretty laid out structure, so it helps flow our writing from one event to the next in a pretty logical way. It also helps us build our ability to elaborate using rich details. In a couple lessons, we're going to get into adjectives and nouns and verbs and adverbs, and we really want to use all those rich detail words to transport the reader into that memory of our life. Some examples might be making cookies with Dad. That might have been a memorable experience for someone. Making cookies with Dad. What was that like? Or my first basketball game. Or this would be your title, and this is your subtitle. Some will have a title, so we'll have that. I'll explain in the next slide. It will have that if it's an event within a bigger event. But one example could be a quarantine story. That's what we're doing right now, a quarantine story. The time when we watched movies from morning to night. Or a surf story. Remember, that would be our title with this being the subtitle. A surf story, the time I saw a dolphin at Venice Beach. You'll follow these directions. After you watch our video and listen to our personal sequence narrative, you'll follow these directions. You want to think back to an event, memory, or experience from your life. It could have happened this morning, or it could have happened years ago. You want to make sure you can narrate it back with detail, transporting your reader to that rich moment in time. You want to write your title and maybe a subtitle. Sometimes you may just have a title, My First Bike Ride, or if this is a narrative within a bigger experience, you might also have a subtitle. Spending time with my big brother. This is the one that we did. Spending time with my big brother. The morning we made Loquat Gummy Candies. So after you're done with your first step, then you go to the second step. You create the topic sentence using a very specific formula. When plus who plus did what plus where. This morning, that's my when, I made dehydrated Loquat Gummy Candies at my big brother's house. When plus who plus did what plus where. That's how all of the personal sequence narratives will start out. After that, you recount the sequence of events that will form the body of your personal sequence narrative using this format, and you'll see in a couple slides the structure. First, then, next, after that, finally, ending with all in all. That's how all of your sentences will start after your topic sentence is created. And then you wrap up the personal sequence narrative with a resolution sentence. That's your all in all sentence. It's a concluding sentence that will give your reader an overall impression of the experience. How was it? What was the overall feeling? Did you learn anything? Here's an example that I made for you. Not the one that my big brother and I made, but here's one that I have. Your title might be A Fire Drill at School. Your topic sentence would be, last week, we participated in a fire drill at school, following that formula. And here are kind of my sentence starters. So all of my sentences will start with these phrases. So sorry that that's not very good. First, the fire alarm rang. Then we walked quickly to the door. Next, we went to the blacktop. After that, Miss Mel took attendance. Finally, we went back to class. All in all, we felt glad. Remember that overall impression. How did you feel? All in all, we felt glad when the fire drill was over. Here's the template that I put in our activity. So when you go to add response, here's the template for our activity. It has the whole structure set out for you and that little formula right there for our topic sentence. Okay, as I said, a pretty short PowerPoint slide because now it's time to watch and read, because there will be our sentence overlays for our video, my example personal sequence narrative titled Spending Time with My Big Brother, the morning we made Loquat Gummy Candies. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys want, and you have the ability to, you're welcome to make a video of a personal sequence narrative like Steven and I did. I really look forward to seeing your entries, but first, let's dive into my personal sequence narrative. One morning, during the state-mandated quarantine, my brother and I made Loquat Gummy Candies at his house. First, we got our big ladder and started harvesting the loquats. We have a lot that are ready for harvest. How do we know they're ready for harvest?
Because they're a nice orange color.
And we put them in the bowl, ready to go. Then we went into the kitchen and washed the loquats to make sure they were nice and clean. Next, we cut the loquats in half and took out the seeds. After that, we put the loquats in a boiling mixture of water and raw maple sugar from Vermont.
Real nice gummy candy.
Finally, we spooned the loquats out of the pot, placed them on a tray, and put them in the oven to dehydrate for 7 hours. all in all, after all of that hard work, we enjoyed our delicious treat. Whoa, that was a lot of fun and a lot of work. I'm really glad you guys could join us in making these Loquat Gummy Candies. We hope you enjoyed our video. We hope you enjoyed our personal sequence narrative. Now it's time to make your own. Please pick a memorable experience from this morning or yesterday or 2 years ago. We would love to read about it. Follow our structure. You can find everything you need attached as an activity to this lesson. Please, as always, call, text, email, send a note, send whatever you need to get your questions answered. I'm here. Big Brother Steve is here if you have any harvesting questions, and we can't wait to see you guys next time. Have a lovely, lovely Thursday. We hope you enjoy this activity. See you guys later.